Cub Cadet Idler pulleys. Here we are, guys. We all have them. The old pulleys that have bad bearings in them. So anyway, I've been thinking about this. I have old brand new pulleys that I just put on the deck, but from prior experience, I know that they're going to go bad over time. And not that long, because here's a flat pulley. This is one that I bought that went bad again, and I just put another one on. So looking to address that situation. Originally I was looking at these, and these are spot welded together. So I originally drilled out spot welds on that old one that's down there, and determined that that wasn't a good solution, because you can't do that on these V's because these are brazed together. So I came to the conclusion that the best way to go about it would be to grind off this flange where they roll this over here. So I did that on this one, and it turns out it's pretty easy. You just need to take your time, and gradually you get a real thin wafer of metal. I mean, it's the best way to guide you. It literally just peels right off this little strip of metal at the end, and that's how you know that you've got it even all the way around. And again, just work real slow with the grinder, go around and around, and then you can pull out the bearing, which here's one here. I believe this was to another pulley, but in any event, then you can just press that back in. What I did was I pulled the seals out on this from each side, just using a utility knife right on the inner seal, and then very gently peel it up, which I'll show you in a second how to do that. So again, this is starting from here and then working to this, and gradually getting to where you have it completely exposed, where you can drive that bearing out. So I'm going to go ahead and take this bearing, and I'm going to pull that seal out and show you how you do it. So here we are. We're going to pull this seal out, and I'm just going to grab a utility knife. Again, you're just going to gently pull that seal out of there. I'm assuming that they're all the same, and you just work on the inner lip of that. Helps to have a dull utility knife, by the way, because obviously you'd tear the hell out of the seal with a new one. So there you can see it gave up the ghost. We're out, and you can see how dry that is. It's full of gunk. So these bearings are super cheap. You can get them online. You can go to a bearing shop, however you choose to get them. The problem is, I don't think that they come with all that much grease in them when they're new. I didn't dissect the new ones that I had. I probably should have, just to check it out. But you can see, obviously, that you can see this stuff on the back here. It's all dried up grease and dirt. So I'm going to clean these out, or this single one out, and then I'm going to pack it with some new grease here. If I got new bearings, I would just do the same thing and pack it full of grease, so I know that there's a bunch of grease in there, and then I'd drive it into my pulley that I've ground the flange off of. Now, one of the other things is I'm going to check is how tightly these are held in place. There's a pretty good burr on here, and I suspect if I peen this with a drive pin punch, or a center punch, I should say, I should be able to retain this bearing if I do it in a couple of spots around. The other alternative would be to put a nut and a bolt on each side, and just have it so it holds that lip. So to be determined there. But rather than continually buying new pulleys, I mean, I've thrown away a bunch, and then this is what I have remaining. Plus I have the new ones that I got on the deck currently. So anyway, it seems like self-fulfilling if you keep just buying them and throwing them away. So the seal is cleaned up, bearing is cleaned up. I'm going to pack in a little grease into this one and return the seals to where they belong, and then we'll drive this other bearing, which has already had this done to it, into the pulley. So that seals are back in this bearing. It was packed with fresh grease after being cleaned. So soaked it in solvent after it was cleaned, and ensured that I got all the fine grit out of there. So even when you repack it, I still got a little grit out. So you know, goes to show, brake clean, then solvent, you know, soaking it in there for a while, and then packing it, then it forced the grit out of there. Just a couple of tiny little pieces, but still shows. So why am I doing all this? Well, this is a relatively new, oh thanks, this is a relatively new pulley. This one still had, before I painted it, I just primed it and painted it, still had the black paint with the part number still on it. So the bearing's bad already. So that's why I'm doing this. And just to satisfy my own curiosity, I'm going to go pull off, now that I have this done, I can put this one on the tractor. I will pull off one of those brand new pulleys, and we'll see what the bearing is like in those. Here's that new pulley off the tractor. I just pulled it off. I'm going to grind off, I guess, this side. And we're going to pull out that bearing and take a look at it and see what they give you for grease in there. I already hear something in there, so I don't know. A little gritty already, and it's been run once. So you can see that as I ground around here to get that flange off, I got this real thin strip, so it's pretty evenly ground all the way around. Just take your time with that. Obviously I was a little hurried. I hit the edges here and there, so I'm going to push this hub out of here and then take a look at how exactly this bearing is greased. That's next. Well, here it is. As I kind of suspected, it's not exactly loaded with grease. I mean, not that it necessarily should be completely packed, but there's some definite voids in here where there is no grease, and I could see this drying up pretty quickly. So I'm going to pack this new bearing with grease, my grease, and reinstall it on the tractor. So you can see that the little bit of blue grease that did come out of that bearing there, that's about the extent of it. There's obviously some that's commingled with the red, but now that I put some grease in that thing, it's got quite a bit more. And with the bearing that I did earlier, the used one, I ran it on the tractor, got it good and hot, and it did have a little bit of grease came out of the seal, but something that you can easily just wipe off, and once it's run for a while, it shouldn't continue to come out, since it has reached its operating temperature for the first time. So I'm going to go ahead and put these seals back in. These are the seals off this new bearing. I just have to clean them off, and then I'll be reinstalling the hub here and driving it back into the pulley. This is the pulley that I mentioned that I test run on the tractor. You can see that the grease is squeezed out here, so we know that it has grease remaining, and I'll just wipe that off and save this as a spare. I've reinstalled that new one back on. I repainted it, and it's back on there, and hopefully this helps somebody. I know that I'll be using this, probably pick up some new bearings, and then just pack them with grease when I get them, and that way I have them on hand, because I don't think they last forever, but they should last more than 2 or 3 years. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys.